welcome back everyone for some more Phoenix Wright, Justice for All. And today we are going to be beginning day 1 of the trial. Well, if you guys have been paying attention to this last case in Justice for All, which is Farewell My Turnabout, here Maya is kidnapped by some guy named The Killer, and he has pretty much given Phoenix Wright just 1 day to prove his client's innocent, which the client in this case is Matt Arngard, who's charged with the murder of fellow actor Juan Corrida. But this will be the beginning of the trial. Hope you guys looking forward to this. Which, before we get started, hope you guys have an awesome day today. Hope you guys doing well. So without further ado, March 22nd, 9:47 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Adrian did it? That's what it looks like. Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there's someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. I understand. Well, it's almost time. Mia! We must get a complete acquittal today. I know. But I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pro's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed. Well, let's get going. It's him. This is right. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say, tired. Don't worry, people don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. For my sake, as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial starts, and even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win today's contest, if you please. Wait! The kidnapper sent me a present. Mr. Lawyer, dude? Who is that? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? March 22nd, 10 a.m. District Court, Courtroom number 3. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt Arngard. Are the prosecution and defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma? I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor. Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has... This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman. What? Shot? Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. His present. Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. This is totally insane. But Miss Von Karma, is she alright? I don't have that answer. She's alive and in stable condition. That's good. Whew. You're... I thought he'd show up. Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Miss Francisca Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready, naturally. Why is he on the witness stand? Miss Von Karma was shot in her right good English. Her right shoulder, and is currently undergoing surgery. Luckily, I've looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt Arngard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Witness, your name and occupation. My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct. For now. For now? After the trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Detective Gumshoe. Prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is gonna be one very rough fight. Yeah, it would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for? Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. Witness testimony. Bare facts to the case. This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes award ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Carrera, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room? Yes, sir. Both the victim and defendant went alone to their room, sir. I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. And before every cross-examination, I usually save just in case I mess up. Murder happened after the Hero ceremony. Victim was found dead in his hotel room. After looking at the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered. Cause of death. Wasn't that because Mr. Carrera was stabbed in the chest? Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now, a real pro's attention would be drawn here to this bandana. Banana? His bandana, sir. That's a thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir. Oh, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana. Then what about... Oh my god, Judge. Then what about the knife? Seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. We have a crafty murderer on our hands here. Autopsy report added to the court record. Time of death, 8:15 p.m. Cause strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. At first we thought there was something suspicious about the guitar case. Why did you think that? Because it was empty, pal. The German Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his great red guitar, and we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Oh, then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that? We thought of that too, but... The only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims. Only the victims, huh? I see. So much for my theory, then. Guitar case updated in the court record. Empty. There is some water, but only on top of the lid. Bears Carrera's fingerprints. Later found out the guitar case had nothing to do with this murder. What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night. Well then, where was it? The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Carrera, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir. So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel. Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all. I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt Arngard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing. Very well, Detective Gumshoe. Please testify about this matter. Yes, sir. With this testimony, why arrest Arngard? Matt Arngard and Juan Carrera were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was, quote, in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jammer Ninja's button. It was ripped off the ninja costume and was found in Mr. Arngard's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir. Knife added to the court record. Bears the victim's blood and Arngard's fingerprints. In the grip, Gatewater is engraved. And there's this button. That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And is this button also covered in blood? Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir. What? Jammer Ninja's button added to the court... Jammer Ninja's button added to the court record. I read that as a judge. Was ripped from his costume. Hey there, Casey. Is covered in Carrera's blood found in Arngard's hakama. All this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, Wright? I'll find the hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you'd like, just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. Ugh. Okay, why arrest Arngard? Okay, they were huge rivals. They thought they were in each other's way. Jammer Ninja button evidence. It was ripped off and found in hakama. Defendant's fingerprints were also over the knife. Defendant bought the knife. Oh, I forgot to save. Okay. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna present the knife.
Objection!
Wait a second. Well, what? So the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand? That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Uh-huh. Take a good look at the handle of this knife, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Huh? It has a Gatewater seal set into the handle. Gatewater? I think I've heard that name somewhere before. That's the name of the hotel. The Gatewater Hotel. Uh-oh. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated. Yes, sir, it's very true. This is a very big... What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined. How so? I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough not to realize this. But I didn't know... Oh. Poor Gumshoe. The question is, where did this knife come from? Well, why is that? Why, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Carrera's room. Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table. There's a knife and a fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from? If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt Arngard. Especially what was on top of his table. There's something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife? We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt Arngard's knife was missing. Ugh. Mr. Arngard had gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder. Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction. Seems like Edgeworth had this plan from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it. Murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There's quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court. Evidence not yet shown? He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence. What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright? I'm gonna go ahead and save this. Well, Phoenix. The judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here, that gavel of his will be ringing out to the sound of our defeat. Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court? You know what? Actually, I do. There's one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see. Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I am giving you one chance, and only one. What the judge is saying, Wright, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us. Oh, look at that! If we do look at the meter up top, if we do miss this, we're done. May now present one and only one piece of evidence. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show the court? What about this? The wine glass.
Take that!
This is a wine glass, is it not? Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because the victim struggled against his assailant. The vase is broken, his makeup is all over the floor. These were all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser. Well, yes, I see your point. However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over along with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Well, what do y'all have to say? Well, yes, it is a little peculiar. Yes, isn't it? I thought it was. You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth? What is it, Your Honor? Your opinion. You don't need my opinion. Because there is no special meaning to that glass. What? It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. By the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking. That does sound very plausible. Mr. Wright? Could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? I'm gonna say there's no way. If I appear weak here, the trial is over. I can look for my proof later. For now, I should test my instinct and point with certainty. They just might fall for it if you're thought-provoking enough. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set up the cup on the table. You've turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim? There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it. What? You're not thinking hard enough today, Wright. Did you think this wine case escaped my notice? Then, of course it has been thoroughly inspected for fingerprints. Fingerprints. There were only one set of fingerprints left on its wine glass. Only one? Well, whose were they? They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were of one Adrian Andrews. What? Wine glass updated in the court record. Found next to the victim, it's filled with tomato juice, bears Andrews' fingerprints. That is why I said that the person who had discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? Ugh, I can't believe I fell into another trap. Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Kurita. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and she set the glass down on the dresser. What you just said makes a lot of sense. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Now do you see, Wright? You can't change any part of my scenario, as it explains everything all too well. Ugh. I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I will show you the answer I have come to discover. Wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from. Another witness? Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. And I am gonna actually, I know this is gonna be a bit of a shorter episode, but I am actually gonna end things here. And in the next episode, we will hear from the next witness, so hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Hope you guys are enjoying the series so far, and I'll be seeing you guys again next time.